we're gonna move along. Assuming that ad break is over, we see it's the Bullet Punch Club and the random Bayleefs. For the Bullet Punch Club is led by Hide playing for Transactual, currently 7th place at 7-5. Actually, hold on, I need to look at something really quick.
Just like me.
Yeah, I okay, so I'm pretty sure. Yes, your two records were the same, 7-5 with 56 elims. But it came down to feints. You had Bullet Punch Club at 47, you had 51. So it came down to the feints, which is kind of crazy. But anyway, the mega of this team is the Mega Venusaur, which is at 4-4. The OU Mons, we have the Scizor, the Bullet Puncture himself, at 2-3, and the Ceralegs at a whopping 14-2. For UU, we have the Revavroom at 3-1, and the Heliolisk, the Lizard, at 4-3. Hold on, I can do this. Maybe not, because it's not going to load. I'm gonna crash out. I was about to do the soundboard, the Lizard on the soundboard, but it's not loading. No. Anyway, we have the Argumons, the Umbreon at 1-1, the Feraligatr at 11-8, and the Armarouge, Ceralegs' brother, at 2-3. For NU, we have the Altaria at 3-3, Cinccino at 0-2, and the Gligar at 2-4. And for RU, we have the Dachshund at 2-4, the Friggraff at 2-1.
Ooh, Dachshund!
Hitmontop at 3-4, and the Toedscruel at 2-3. And if you would like to introduce our next team.
All right, and in the other corner, we have the Brandon Bayleefs, represented by Brody. For the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, they're sitting in 5th place at 8-4. And on this team, we see Mega Scizor with a whopping 10-3. It's a great record. With Rillaboom at 3-2. Dragapult, which I've heard of, at 6-5. Rotom Heat at 7-6. Before we move on to our negative Pokemon with Durant at 0-1. RU Politoed at 3-7. Fortress is 3-4. And Chansey is back positive with 7-4.
It's been positive this whole season.
It's positive, of course.
Gross. I hate Chansey Chat so much.
I'm trying to remember which one it is. Like, there's Chansey and Clefable and Jigglypuff and I don't know, Miltank and Togepi.
All the
They're all the
squishy
same
pink.
to me.
All the
really
squishy
just
pink
blend
Pokemon.
NU, we have Toxicroak at 7-2. Kingdra is 2-2, and Barraskewda 3-3. PU is Galarian Slowbro at 3-2. Ludicolo at 2-1. Magneton, my beloved, at 4-2. And Frosmoth at 0-1. I love Magneton. I had their whole deck when I played the card game.
Oh, nice. All right, chat. I noticed something, but the rosters of these teams make me really sad. Both of these teams have a Scizor available. Neither of these teams brought Scizor. I'm so sad. There's no Mega Scizor, no regular Scizor. Literally, we could have had the Scizor battle, but we didn't. Anyway, so for the Bullet
You could have been scissoring right now.
We have the Ceralegs and the Armarouge. I like that they're sitting next to each other. The Altaria, the Lizard, Heliolisk, the Umbreon, and the Feraligatr. And for the Bayleefs, we have the Frostmoth, the Rotom Heat, the Chansey, the Barraskewda, Politoed, and the Durant, which I don't think we've seen Durant for a while, so it's good to see that Pokemon coming back. And
I'm putting $20 on the Bayleefs right now.
Yeah? All right, let's get started. Let's see what happens. The Heliolisk is going to lead with the Team Corona. I still love that name. The switch into Switchblade. The Ceralegs is going to come through. The Ice Beam being a resisted hit. The switch into Nurse Pain, the Chansey, with a Bitter Blade hitting, doing a little bit of that's actually a lot of damage to the Chansey. With the close combat, not getting the knockout on the Chansey, which is kind of crazy. With the Toxic missing. Unfortunate. We switch into Mr. Oven Mitts. The Close Combat is going to land doing exactly half the HP of the Rotom. The switch though back into the Heliolisk. With the Volt switch coming through, being a resistant hit to the Heliolisk, and switching out into the Frostmoth. Team Volcarona, best name. The Volt switch is going to come through again, switching out into the Cerulege again with another Ice Beam. Wait, we saw this turn already, chat. They switched into Kevin Durant, let's go. The Bitter Blade. Oh, to take down the Durant.
I could have sworn that thing had sturdy.
Veriscoot is going to come in, switching out into the Feraligatr with the Crunch, getting a lot of damage, getting the crit onto the Feraligatr. They switch into the Umbreon from the Feraligatr with the Crunch being another resistant hit, doing a little bit of chip damage to the tanky Umbreon. The Close Combat, that was going to hit, doing a lot of damage, but not... Sorry, I just read there. The Foul Play is going to come through and take down the Barraskewda. What they're saying in the Max chat is really funny. Rotom, he comes back out, but the Protect is going to come through from the Umbreon. But the Trick is going to, of course, be protected. Switch from the Umbreon into the Heliolisk with the Trick coming through, giving the Flame Orb to the Heliolisk. Kind of scary. The Surf, though, is going to outspeed and take down the Rotom. Removal Corona comes back in. The Volt Switch is going to hit, is going to go back into the Cerulege. It is. Who could have seen that coming? The Sunspore is now going to land and take, or paralyze, with the U-turn coming through from the Frostmoth. The Bitter Blade is going to hit the Politoed. Be a resistant hit, but still doing some pretty good damage there. They switch back into the Heliolisk, though, with the Earth Power coming through, doing a lot of damage. Is the Burn going to be able to take it down? It's not. The Heliolisk only at 3% HP now. He switched, though, back into, I almost said Volcarona, into Frostmoth, the Thunderbolt doing a little bit of chip damage, but the Burn is going to be able to take down the Heliolisk. Feraligatr comes back in. They switch into the Politoed from the Frostmoth with a Rock Slide hitting, doing a bit of chip damage to the Politoed. They switch back into the Umbreon, though, from the Feraligatr. With the Whirlpool, they're going to trap the Umbreon in. They switch, though, back into the Chansey with a Wish coming through from the Umbreon. The Whirlpool is going to be freed, though. The Protect is going to come through from the Umbreon. With the Soft Boiled, healing the Chansey. The Wish, though, is also going to heal the Umbreon, too. Both Pokemon really high up there in their HP now. The Cerulege comes back in with a Toxic. Of course, Toxic is going to fail because of the paralysis status. Close Combat, though, is going to do a lot of damage back to the Chansey. Not quite enough to take it down, though. With the Stealth Rock being set up by the Chansey. This is a lot going on in this battle, chat. The paralysis comes through with a Soft Boiled, healing back the Chansey up to over half of the HP. The switch back into the Frostmoth, and the Close Combat is going to be able to take down the Frostmoth. Politoed comes back in with a switch from the Cerulege into the Umbreon, and the Ice Beam is going to hit the baby. The switch back into Chansey, though, coming through from the Politoed. So many switches happening in this battle, chat. I can't keep up. Toxic is going to land on the Chansey, started putting the ship damage to Foul Play, doing very little damage to the Chansey. The Seismic Toss doing a little bit of damage back to the Umbreon. Wish is going to come through from the Umbreon with another Toxic, landing onto the Umbreon. Of course, the Synchronize isn't going to matter because it's already poisoned. Both sides of the field getting poison damage. We switch back into the Cerulege, though, with a lot of damage coming through from the South Rocks. The Poison Cure is going to come through as it switches out into the Politoed. The Wish is going to heal the Cerulege back to full HP with a switch back into the Umbreon. So many switches. The Earth Power is going to land doing a little bit of damage to the Umbreon. The Toxic, though, is going to neutralize the leftover recovery that happened. The Ice Beam is going to land to 5% of its HP. The Wish, though, is going to come through, but I don't think it was enough. The Toxic is going to knock down the Umbreon. Alligator comes back in, getting damage from the South Rocks with the Trailblaze, taking down the Politoed and boosting the speed in the process. That might be it with the Chansey. The Wish is going to come through, bringing it back to full HP. Yeah, I think Chansey's kind of hacked here. Ice Punch is going to get the crit, but I don't know if the crit mattered. Taking down the Chansey and the bullet.
The crit probably mattered. Yeah.
The crit probably mattered. But good game to both teams. That was so many good switches, so many good pivots. Confusing the heck out of me. But very good game.